Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to this Beltane Mayday message. My name is Lisa Lyle. This is my channel here on YouTube, and I am feeling really guided in the moment to sit here. I'm not even sure which reading I'm going to do. I have two um, pick a pick a pile, or I have a pick a box and pick a pile uh, interactive reading here. Sorry, excuse me. Anyways, I've also got my beautiful, I wish you could smell it, pouch of British Columbia white saved, sustainably harvested by elders and gifted to me. And I only pull this out on really special occasions because it is so precious. And it was strongly encouraged to pull it out today. So, as well as an eagle feather. So, okay. At the time of recording, as I mentioned, it is May 1st, 2024, and we are at the midway point between the beginning of this new year, the equinox in March, to the solstice in June. And what a ride it has been. And if we're honest about it, this entire calendar year so far um, of 2024, the universal 8 year, the year that we really come home to ourselves and come out of ourselves and really put ourselves out there in a way that is meant to be our bountiful experience um, and shared experience of the awakening of the child that has lived within the entire experience we have had thus far. With all that being said, without getting too woo woo in the first, oh my gosh, 2 minutes, feels like five, um, it's been quite a ride since the time of the Pisces new moon, which was on March the 10th of this year. So we've gone through the new moon in Pisces. We had Mercury stationing direct during this time and has only stationing retrograde, sorry, and has only gone direct as of a week now, the 25th of April. We had the equinox, and then we had the massive eclipse season in which Mercury was retrograde. So there's been a lot going on. And personally, um, I have not felt energetically ready to connect in this way until this time in quite some time, because the reality is like all of you over here going through it in the thick of it. And since the time of the Pisces new moon, it's been a very beautiful opportunity and time for us to heal our experience. And in fact, these messages, the message has come loudly through, is going to be your pick a pile everyday wisdom. So the Everyday Wisdom Oracle is a deck that was co-created with Spirit, God, myself, and a dear friend, dear sister of the heart. Um, so that's what we're going to do. But right now I'm just going to try to get this lit a little bit more. So if you have been working with the energies and if your experience has been similar energetically to mine, of course, the circumstances and the situations and the players in our show um, are different. The energetics of the soul tribe, those of us who are here to fulfill a spiritual role in this lifetime. The energetics have probably been pretty much the same. And you may have felt perhaps a little insane during this season. Things from the past may have resurfaced. And now with Mercury direct, hopefully you are feeling, as I am feeling, on the other side of it. Still treading gently and lightly with myself, which allows me to tread in that same way for the most part with others, because it's really about the journey of our heart. And since the Pisces new moon, there has been an expansive uh, opportunity for us to truly heal the wound of the beautiful child of light that lives within. And so this reading is from the child that lives within me. Here she is in 1973, to the child that lives within you. Um, at whatever time frame you are karmically clearing through. So I feel that that is quite an introduction, 6 minutes in. So if you're new, let's get to that. If you're new, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to trust that whenever you arrive at these messages, everyday wisdom, practical guidance to support you on your spiritual path. And so if you're new, please do take a moment to subscribe to the channel. If you stick around to the end, and even if you don't, hit that thumbs up button. Do it now. Thank you so much. It greatly supports the ability of this space to grow, and it keeps me motivated and knowing that I am indeed tapping in to the collective and indeed um, on the path of the sacred heart that beats within me and you and all of us that view and connect with Jesus as our ever loving brother, friend for life. It is truly his delight to see those of us who know we are children of the light, know we are here for the greatest and highest good of humanity, serving a loving God. And standing up and showing up righteously. So that means doing the work. That means like through periods like the Pisces new moon, the season we've just moved through, it means showing up for ourselves. And if we do, we are going to be richly rewarded. Clearing of the throat chakra. Don't be afraid. I keep hearing don't be afraid. I feel a little um the little Lisa's excited to be here, sharing in this way. So I had to write down little notes. We're going left, center, right. In one of my recent interactives, I feel like I went the wrong way. It was the pick a pouch, um, or it was brought to my attention that I showed the pouches. So whatever pouch I was showing was the message. I may have got the order wrong. I was sure not to get it wrong this time. Remember. So for those of you who have been with me for a while, thank you so much for still being here. What a ride it has been the last 12 years of our lives. So if you were guided to the left pile, here is your everyday wisdom as well as a message from I want to say, and I'm guided to say, God that loves unconditionally the inner child that is you, the you that has always been there through the entire experience. And no, it hasn't been easy. In fact, it's been quite challenging. And yet, the good news is the tides have shifted. The more that we can show up for ourselves on a daily basis, the more that we can show up for ourselves when the emotions are intense, when the perhaps the coming face to face with the ego, the mind trap that keeps us and keeps us keeps wants to stay in control and wants to keep us reliving situations. Once we have acknowledged a situation in our lives and truly, felt the emotion uh, that we needed to feel around that particular situation, relationship, time in our lives, whatever it was, our childhood, then we can truly move on. And until we feel that, and as one who who has always been willing to feel what I need to feel, I maybe not as quickly as hindsight shows me it would have been easy to do. When we're truly on our path in service to the greatest and highest good of humanity, in service to our eternal soul and to our soul family, then we're doing the work, and we have to come to terms with what was there. We can't just intellectualize it and want to make it all logical and make it make sense. Make it make sense. It doesn't always often make sense until hindsight. And so the work of healing the inner child, the work of coming to terms with yourself, one of the great revelations for me during this eclipse season, or yeah, we'll say the Pisces new moon kind of kicked it off, because it was with that next full moon, which was the Libra full moon, that we had a lunar eclipse. So that's exactly it. Um, with the kickoff of that eclipse season, what opened up for us were opportunities to come face to face with ourselves and our choices along the way and the decisions we have made along the way. And for me, I'm going to get a shirt, I think, made that says, um, making my own choices since 1984. And I truly have. And this 54-year-old Lisa has been making her own choices and decisions since 1984. And those choices and decisions, they have a ripple effect throughout our experience. And if those choices and decisions didn't serve our greatest and highest good, that ripple effect may not be so positive. And it may have, um, it's like swimming against the stream, going upstream, going against the flow, going against the current. And the ultimate goal is to recognize that we are the current, and God God loves us through all of that. God knows all of it. you know, our angels know all of it, even before we're ready to admit we've been making our own choices and decisions since 1984. And with that realization comes an opportunity for great healing, an opportunity to amend perhaps situations, relationships, um, yeah, the relationship with ourself, remembering who we were before the trauma set in, before the trauma hit, right? Okay. So that was, I trust that there's something shared there resonates. Don't be too hard on yourself, whether you are the left, center, or right pile. Okay. At this time, I'd like to ask that I am a clear and pure channel to bring through messages from Source Divine, God, loving and kind, practical guidance that allows the child of light to come home. Away from fright, back to the peace, the joy. Do you hear that slamming door? Like the person that lives downstairs, it's like slamming the door. And I may have jumped the first time it slammed. So, you know, showing up for the child that is alive and well, perhaps not feeling so swell within you. The first card out is Citrine. And this piece, I just saw it. It's somewhere close by. Is it on the door slamming again? No. Okay, it's somewhere. Anyways, it's a beautiful piece of raw natural citrine. The number on this card is 31, which is that mirror energy of 13, right? The divine feminine showing up for ourselves. With the loving God, the support of a loving Father who is always there for us, who has always been there for us, a beautiful brother who has walked by our side from day one. And now it's time for the feminine that is you, that lives within you, to stop living a life on the run. Because we cannot run from ourselves. We cannot, it's almost like I'm hearing like beat the clock, and yet like sands through the hourglass is what I'm seeing. I'm actually hearing that, like sands through the hourglass. So are the days of our lives. Stop running. Be present where you are. This is, as well as being a 31, the mirror of 13, a slamming door again. It's 4. It's a foundational energy. It's also my number for the angelic realm that's ever present in my life. I mean, the simple fact that I'm sitting here alive and sharing heart space with all of you is evidence of angels at work. And it's also evidence that we are here for great purpose, for greater purpose, and we cannot outrun. It's like there's a snapshot of the sky at the time that we were each born, like this explosion of God's love, and a light came into the world, and that was us. And there, at that same time, at that snapshot, that instant, there's also an expiry date out there, and we can't outrun that because it's it's inevitable. That's where all humans are going. And so if we believe it, not I want to move away from the word believe as well. And language is so important. And so I'm just going to say my understanding is that what we do between that time that this brilliant light comes into this world, into physical form, until what we do when the physical form returns to the causal body of God, the heavens above. We humans spend a lot of time outside of our power and not feeling that we have power because of situations that happened at an earlier stage in our lives. Trauma that we experience that we didn't deserve. No child deserves trauma. Each child is a worthy child of God, meant to have this beautiful experience while upon this earthly body of the Sacred Mother, an experience of joy, an experience of love, an experience of prosperity, an experience of connection, interpersonal relationships with one another. And because, and as a direct result of early childhood trauma, most are disconnected from what is our shared divine birthright. And all of that happens below the heart. And even in my personal experience, below the heart, but even below the solar plexus. So citrine would, it is the stone of abundance. It's a beautiful. It was in fact my first crystal that I was guided to purchase for myself, and wore it for many years on a long chain. So it sat right on the solar plexus chakra. And the guidance I received at that time was that it was to clear the negativity from my mind. And years later, probably 10 years later, that stone had these black flecks in it. And it was almost a visual of all the clearing of the negative patterning, the negative conditioning to the experience. So, uh, for you, what I'm guided to say, it's really important. And they wanted me to go back to the making my own choices and decisions since 1984. And in 1984, when I was turning 14 that year, that would have been the year, the transition from the sacral, like we finished out the root, and now we're finishing out the sacral chakra, moving into our solar plexus chakra, our power center. And many children of light, including you and I, move into that energetic center not in our power, disempowered because of the trauma. um, and no, this is not finger pointing or blaming anyone, it's just stating the obvious. And so when we live in like the facts, then we're going to be able to move past the past, and we're going to come rightly into our power. So the solar plexus is with the energy of the sun. It is a masculine energy center, and it's the home of the ego. So ego edging God out. And it's also the place where God, spirit, wants to come and guide us uh, on the righteous path. And even when, you know, even when, regardless of where we were when this area was being developed, we have an opportunity here and now to shift the energy. And we can begin that quite simply with breathing. So let's just take 3 deep breaths here. Oh, that pendant is here. My first piece of citrine is right there. And I probably got that in 1995. Okay, so let's just take a couple deep breaths, 3 in fact. So when we inhale, we want to feel our belly rise. And when we exhale, we want to feel the belly drop back. So let's do it together. Nice big inhale. That's quite magically the simple way to begin to connect with the home of where our power resides. Gut instinct, you know that saying, trust your gut? We ought to do that more. The message on this card says, "You are brave, you are strong, you are wise. You can do this. It is time to own your power." Co creation with the divine, forgiveness. And I was really feeling that forgiveness energy. So, forgiving that child who made their choices and decisions since, you know, we're working with 1984. I find that a really interesting because, there's a whole book out there called 1984. So, anyways, um, forgiveness of that child, forgiveness of that um, frightened, traumatized little girl or boy that felt like they knew it all. And I'm hearing felt for a time that perhaps there wasn't a God loving and kind. And there is. And I can remember probably before, even before 1984, because 1984 is kind of when, you know, I was doing my own thing. Um, Before that, making bargains with God, like asking God to prove, you know, prove yourself, prove you exist. And, you know, um, perhaps there's a need for you at this time to let go and to be more kind to yourself and forgive yourself for what you didn't know. Standing your sacred ground, standing your holy ground. This is all about healing. So much growth. There's been so much growth since that time in your life. And you are on the mission. You are on the path of little to no strife. And it's all the personal journey. It's all your willingness to show up for yourself time and time again. Be your own friend. The message on this card, where am I going to see this? Says, stand your ground. Standing your ground is an empowering. Standing your ground is an empowering, confidence building action to take. Focus time, focus time to time, focus time to time. I would say focus all the time. And, with the energetics that have recently been at play, there is a shift now. We are shifting into a new season. We've been through a very challenging season, and now we're moving into a season of more ease. And yet, it's not just going to appear like that. Practice, practice, practice. Show up for yourself. Show up for yourself. Kindness. Be your own friend. Um, Let love in. Let the child, that playful, delightful child, lead the way. Be the star of your own show, standing your ground, speaking truth, grounding your heart, connecting your heart to the earth. Now is the moment when you need to stand your ground. You know you can do it, and you know that by doing it, you will be the victor, right? We're moving into a time of ease. And so, really stay focused on doing what brings more ease into your experience, more peace into your experience. Be more loving to yourself. And prayer helps. Prayer helps. And we can imagine each step that we take is a prayerful step in peace, practicing being the peace, practicing grounding our energy because our frequency matters. And the more that we can bring consciousness, source, God's unconditional presence into our experience, walking hand in hand with our brother Jesus, uh, knowing that we are worthy and deserving of bliss, that is like, that's big stuff. That's a big gift to the collective. And we were born for this. When this picture was taken, that's me at the picture. And when this picture was taken, I was standing on the top of Cadillac Mountain in Maine. And the year was probably 2014. 10 years ago, a decade. So much. And that's I guess what the reason for saying that is because so much life has happened in that time. Oh my gosh. Like, and even still, so much trauma. There was so much trauma in that time because this inner child inside still needed to heal, needed those experiences in order to truly heal and to break the karmic cycle, to break the pattern, to break the disconnected relationship with source, with self, because everything begins inside this vessel of flesh. And in 10 years, it changes a lot. Trust me on this. I'm trying, I'm coming to acceptance of the 54-year-old flesh that I live within. And, it's also an empowering time because we have the tools. When we finally leave the trauma behind, we have those tools we can fall back on, those tools in our spiritual toolbox that are always there for us, that will always work for us anytime we pick them up and put them to use. Practice. Number 24, which comes to a 6. So this is a time of spring cleaning, housekeeping, health, your physical body, um, the Virgo Pisces axis. So everything started in Pisces season. That is the axis of the wounded healer. That is the axis truly of humanity, what we have come to heal. So for those of you who are still here listening to this and resonating with any of it, thank you so much for the beautiful work you do. I know, not easy, not easy, and yet you're still going and you're beautifully growing. Keep going. Don't give up before the miracle happens. Don't give up before the floodgates of abundance open from within. You are the key. Prayer. If you want and need help, ask for it. Be open to receive and give thanks as you do. If you pray, why worry? If you worry, why pray? Ask and let go in trust. It's when we hold on too tightly that we really can't see what is meant for us. Um, and we hold on to what's not meant for us. And in our gut, we already knew that. And so it becomes the play between the ego and the the spirit, right? Um, the ego is our friend, and sometimes it's, a tough pill to swallow. And there may be like deep emotions attached to coming to recognize that. Allow them to flow, let them out, let them go. You're growing, your tears are watering the seeds of the intentions of your heart that for a lifetime you have been sowing. And so it takes what it takes, and you're here now for great purpose. So I trust that something there resonated with you. Those of you on the left, the left, the receiving side, the feminine side. Stay soft, be gentle. God's got this, and God loves you. Jesus, too. One and the same, perhaps. Okay, so for those of you guided to the center pile, here are your messages. And we have got, oh, isn't that funny? We have got a number 42, which is the mirror image of 24. So there's something there about that. We're on the same track. And so, as it usually goes, perhaps all of these messages have something for all of us. They all tie together. And of course they do. How could they not? You got feather here, and this is a white swan feather, I believe. No, it may be an eagle feather. And it says, make a wish. Your angels are near and support your heart's deep desires. And this is what prayer is all about. Our God is always there. God's never left. Ever, 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 ever. Could not. Because it's who we are. And so it is the child that has walked away from who they are, or it is the child that has been traumatized away from their ordained experience. And so, as the adult children, it is up to us to engage all those tools, all that knowing, all that wisdom, all that devotion, that joy that we had as young girls and boys, to bring it forth now into our experience. And again, back to emotion being attached to that. There can be a lot of emotion attached to it. And on the other side of all that release of perhaps, tears, 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 then we switch gears and it becomes a more joyful experience. I mean, heck, we're alive. That's a miracle. And, the angels have always been near, and it's up to us as the adult children to engage with them, to call them into our experience, to call God into our experience, because we have dreams. We have dreams, and the dreams are born through the purity of our heart and our art and that which we are here to create, the healing which we are here to do. It's meant to support you, truly, truly. You hear that, Lisa? Yes, yes, I do. Um, what are your dreams? Oh, this just reminded me of a God's eye there. You remember God's eyes making those? As a child with twigs or popsicle sticks or straws, whatever, and some yarn. God's always been with us, and it's like we are the heart in his eyeball. He just loves us so much. And he's been with us through all of the experience, all of it, and wants us to get beyond it now. Leave it. Ancient history, and it's about the lessons learned in love, lessons in love, as we've been sowing the seeds of love. And now it's time for us to have the experience of abundance. And it is about us, it's about you being the cup full. Talk about your dreams. And, in your dreams, the angels are talking to you. God is talking to you, whispering to you. What do you know to be true? The message on this card is your subconscious constantly and subtly speaks through your dreams. It's not just one of it, it's just one of the many ways in which your soul and God speak to you. Would you oh, it's one of the way God's in the spirit world, the angelic world, can reach out to you. and communicate to you. Trust your gut, follow your intuition, follow the path of joy. That's what God says to his girls and boys. And share and connect and be yourself. That's probably the most challenging thing for most of us, right? Is to be ourselves. Wacky, wonderful, uniquely wild, playful, thoughtful, caring, compassionate, deep, all of that. That is what makes us each uniquely, divinely beautiful. And that is as God intended. We're not cookie cutters. We're not gingerbread men. If you are, I would have eaten you by now. Or we all would have been eaten by now, right? Because who doesn't love gingerbread? Um, and they communicate also. God also communicates through signs, symbols, messages, and more. Songs, number sequences, feathers. Look at this with the crow, or with the feathers, you got the crow, black and white. It's not all black and white. Well, actually, actually, it kind of is. It's within the human experience that the gray area, and perhaps it's the gray matter of our brain that's not being utilized, living in the green, in the gray, um, living in the shadows, right? This is the revelation, shadow and light. Through the dark night of the soul, we are reborn. And dark nights of the soul is like happen over and over and over again, right? Begin again. Let life is your friend. Be a friend of life. Crows are magic. I love, 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 love crows. As I say it, one just flew right by. One flew by. That's hilarious. Only thing better would be if it can't come and start cawing outside the window. Um, and you never know, it may before the end of this reading. And it says, at this time, Crow asks you to seek within to uncover the magic that is you. You are wise beyond what you currently believe. And there's that language again. And I've been guided in the last couple days to see the word lie and believe and belief. So, God does not lie. God does not enjoy seeing his children cry. And yet, it's really important for each of us, for you, as you move through this healing time, as you move through this transition, approaching a new season, it's really important to stay focused on your highest timeline, because there's so much more to life than what we have been told. There's so much more to life than what we have been shown. We are the children of God, here for a joyful, abundant experience, living life on our terms, according to God's will. That's the beauty of it all. And so it's about rising up. It's about standing up, making some noise, twisting and shouting, standing our holy ground, and doing so because we recognize we are who we are. We recognize that we are the holy ground. We are the children of God. I trust this is making sense. It's the divine mystery of the heart. The heart just wants to love. The heart just wants to pump its own unique rhythm, supporting life. And same with our breath too, right? And there's a need at this time to release what is meant to be left behind so we can get back into our unique flow in harmony with Mother Earth, in harmony with God, Jesus, the Earth Mother, who loves and supports us, earth medicine, wisdom, wisdom of the earth. You know, wisdom of the heart. The wisdom of the heart is born from the wisdom of the earth. You know, I'm guided to just share this quick little story here on my walk earlier today with the big dog. He stopped. We were on our street almost home. There goes another crow. We were on our street almost home, and there's a gentleman across the street, and he's there with his like tools, and he's like yanking out all the dandelions. And he looked up, and I said, "Oh, tough work, tough work, um, pulling out Mother Earth's medicine." And he goes, "Yeah, it looks like I'll be here all day." Anyways, at that point, the dog laid down on the driveway we were, and the guy was kind of like chuckling. I said, "He's not going to leave until he can come and say hello, because this dog literally believes that everyone is a friend." Everybody. So I literally have to talk to every person I encounter on my walk. And some days, if I'm completely honest, it's nice not to encounter another soul. It's nice to just be out there with uh, the dog, the mirror image of God, and everything else that's around, just the natural world. So, anyways, I feel like there's something there about earth medicine, herbs, dandelion. Dandelion's very good. It's a good tonic. It's very supportive of the liver. And have, um, many of our livers need help. And so, if that was your message to the center ones, if you're still here, gosh, these are going long, and yet I'm just going to trust. There goes a crow again. So, okay, that's fine. We're exactly where we're meant to be. So, I trust that those messages resonated and were supportive to you. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget that thumbs up. Okay, and so if you were guided to the right pile, here are your messages. And I love this. Jonathan Livingston Seagull. I probably got that book in about 1982. Um, this is the number 4, that angel number again. We had it somewhere else, didn't we? The 31 from the first message, the citrine, and we have seagull number 4. And I remember when this message came through, it was really about setting our sights higher. Set your sights higher than where you have been, right? It's a time to elevate. Your wings are ready. Although you may stretch them out tentatively, you will be supported. You are supported in flight. Sometimes, though, it is nice to just land on the earth, to land on a rock, perhaps even just to land in the water and float. And so I feel this is what you're being asked to do now. It's either float or stand your ground, which goes back to that message again that came with the citrine, the standing your holy ground. You are the holy ground, and the angels support you. You are here. Many of you, in fact, are earth angels, here to make a difference in the lives of others. And in order to do that, it's about making a difference in your own life first. You are number 1 in your life. And no, that is not selfish. That is not selfish. It's necessary. It's necessary. The message on the card is set your sights higher and let your spirit soar. You have strong and clear connection to the creator of all things, God. And God created all of this here on Mother Earth for his children to experience in bliss. The Garden of Eden, the knowledge within. And that sacred connection has been severed within all of us. Or it's up to us to reestablish that connection, right? Because this whole industrialization and all this foolishness and whatever that's going on, there's this real disconnect from nature, and nature is a reflection of us, and we are energetic beings, and nature is earth is an energetic body. We are this whole experience we're having is all about energetics, and so we want to be the I want to experience the highest energetic we can experience, which I'm pretty sure is heaven on earth. My ear is ringing like crazy right now. Heaven on earth, while in the flesh, living peacefully on earth while we're here on earth, having that full on experience of like the worthy and deserving girls and boys, the worthy and deserving children that we are, that we were born as we are, no mistakes. God does not make any mistakes. God does not make any mistakes. You are not a mistake. Nothing about your experience was a mistake. Now, perhaps along the way, you may have made some choices that, had you made another choice, it would have been a different experience. And yet, in order to facilitate the healing that you are here for, deep, deep healing, true karmic clearing, you needed to have the experiences that you've had. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for that. It's beautiful work, and we all deserve it. The next card out is gratitude. Gratitude for the eyes that can see truth, God's truth at play in our life today. That's a gift. Gratitude for the experience, gratitude simply for another day to play, frolic and play, and pray and commune with God, to nurture our hearts, to nurture our bodies. Oh, look at that. The number on the final card, cactus, is a 4 again. 444. The angels are really making it clear that they are around. And with that, when that cactus energy came through, that was, it's amazing this deck came through. It was a very challenging time in my life, dealing with some very challenging energy that I had basically invited into my experience. And, you know, much of that was a horrific time, in fact. And so the message that was coming through was like, let go of the prickly. Let go of the prickly, because we get our guard up too around prickly energy, and if we're around prickly energy, chances are we're going to respond in a prickly way, and so that doesn't feel very nice to be prickly, right? And it doesn't feel very nice to be needled by others, or to keep like needling ourselves in situations, right? And engaging with that, I'm going to just say it, toxic energy. And yet, and through it all, the angels were right there with us. We knew. They were telling us, right? They were telling us what we knew to be true. And yet, and still, the ego gets in the way and wants to, you know, the wound, from the wound, we respond because the wound isn't healed. So we believe in said situation or relationship. Um, we don't want to let it go. And yet it's the letting go that offers relief, that the freedom that we deserve. Um, it says, go on and shed your prickly skin and allow the softness of your insides to be exposed. It is time. You are safe. No more tough exterior. You are beautiful just as you are. Each of us is. Sometimes it's tough to be a human living in a skin, and yet through the skin and through the muscles and, the heart and the diaphragm and the feet and the hands. We're meant to experience so much. And so, are we feeling tense? Tension's been, for many, and likely for many of you, has been a lifelong experience, right? And it's not until we stop, stand our ground, breathe, anchor God's love into the ground, the holy ground that we walk upon, kissing the earth with our feet and receiving a kiss in return. Oh, what a beautiful symbology, and what a beautiful symbiotic relationship. Giving and taking, ebbing and flowing, charging and recharging, transformation. This continuous cycle that we live within of birth and death and rebirth. We are here to restore sacredness upon this earth. And so I thank you so much. Did I read this card? No. Let me read this card, the gratitude card. Trust your intuition, trust your gut. Life is one big, continuous cycle of giving and receiving energy. Be thankful for who and what's in your life instead of complaining about what you don't have. If you focus on gratitude, you'll start to attract prosperity and abundance. Oh my gosh, what a great way to end this message, this connection. Thank you so much for being here. I trust that these messages have resonated. I feel it feels a bit different today, and I trust that something here has touched your beautiful heart, and that it has all the right feels for you as you connect, whenever you connect. So if you'd like to work one-on-one with me, book a reading, or have an intuitive healing session, please do visit my website, www.lisalyle.com. Link in the description box below. And if you haven't yet, please do subscribe. It supports our ability to grow together and really motivates and encourages me to keep going, keep sharing. Let me know that you like what you see, you like the messages that you receive, and you like the vibe that you feel. It's great. It's a great time to be alive, and I'm excited for the thrive. So, from this gateway of abundance to your gateway of abundance, I say, I see you, I feel you, I love you. Thank you so much for being here. I trust that this message has been supportive to you in your everyday life. And until next time, take good care. Namaste.